According to the Pleiadians, and shared through Caylin's transmissions, what many see as geopolitical tension may in fact be something far more orchestrated, far more cosmic. A subtle merging between the energetic bodies of America and Canada has already begun, not through policy or politics, but through vibration, consciousness, and Earth's evolving grid. What appears as strategy on the surface is actually a long-prophesied unification that will prepare both nations for disclosure and planetary responsibility. This isn't a merger of governments, it's a fusion of frequencies. And those who can feel beneath headlines will realize it has already started. The energetic bridge between two nations is activating. Beneath the mountains and lakes, between the borders that separate flags, there exists an ancient bridge of resonance, an energetic corridor linking the soul lineages of Canada and America. This bridge has slept quietly beneath the noise of history, waiting for the moment when humanity could recognize connection over division. That moment is now arriving, and with it, the reactivation of this sacred current. It begins with shared frequency, not in language or politics, but in intention. People on both sides of the border are beginning to feel a similar yearning for truth, unity, and liberation from systems that no longer serve. The old identity of separation is loosening, not because of policy, but because of soul memory. The bridge activates through remembrance. The Pleiadians describe this as a light braid, a soft intertwining of consciousness that creates a common harmonic field. It can be felt in the sudden alignment of social movements, in the shared dreams of peacekeepers and way showers, and in the inexplicable knowing that what happens to one land now echoes through the other. The Earth itself is breathing differently across this line. This energetic bridge does not need permission to form. It is part of Earth's multidimensional blueprint, but it does need human anchoring. Every act of cross-border compassion, every meditation focused on collective unity, strengthens this vibrational bond. What begins in silence will soon sing in clarity. And when it does, disclosure will no longer be theory. It will be reflection. New Earth governance begins at the vibrational level. Governance in the New Earth paradigm is not imposed from the top down. It emerges from the inside out. The Pleiadians emphasize that true leadership in the new era is vibrational, not institutional. This means policies, borders, and alliances will eventually follow the energy already formed between people, land, and intention. That shift begins when a collective frequency stabilizes. The merging of Canada and America is not about paperwork, it's about resonance. As more people hold thoughts of unity, compassion, and sovereignty, those energies create a subtle governance field. This field doesn't require flags or constitutions. It organizes itself around coherence, truth, and mutual empowerment. It leads not with law, but with light. People may begin to notice synchronized awakenings in both countries, communities building parallel models of sustainability, healing centers rising with the same architectural flow, and local movements echoing each other across the border without planning. That's not coincidence. It's energetic governance taking form in real time. This new leadership model requires a new kind of citizen, one who understands that every thought is a vote, every emotion a broadcast signal. In this reset, governance is no longer about control. It is about frequency stewardship, and those who can hold love, clarity, and discernment will become the architects of a new continent. The borderlines were always temporary in frequency. Maps divide, but energy never did. The lines drawn between countries may define laws and cultures, but they never divided the soul agreements seated deep within the earth. The Pleiadians refer to these political boundaries as temporary overlays, useful for a time, but now fading as higher timelines awaken. Many starseeds incarnated on both sides of the Canada-America border with matching missions. They chose opposite sides not to remain divided, but to act as activation points for this very moment. As those individuals awaken and begin to collaborate, the energetic illusion of the borderline begins to dissolve. This shift doesn't require a political union to be real. It begins when the people feel a unity that transcends passports and national identity. When a lightworker in Alberta and one in Arizona start receiving the same intuitive message, it's because they're already operating within the same frequency grid. The physical border may remain, but its energetic relevance will fade. Those who cling to division will feel resistance. But those who open to cooperation, resonance, and shared destiny will find themselves walking across a bridge that was never made of stone, but of soul alignment and purpose. The disclosure timeline depends on collective coherence. Disclosure is not a calendar event. It is a frequency threshold. The Pleiadians are clear. The more coherent and unified the collective field becomes, the more truth will be permitted to rise from beneath the veils. Disclosure is not being withheld. It is being timed to match humanity's capacity to integrate what is revealed. Coherence doesn't mean agreement on every issue. It means holding emotional, spiritual, and energetic clarity within oneself. When enough people radiate inner truth and no longer outsource authority, the energetic environment becomes ripe for unveiling. Disclosure thrives in light, not division. This is why unity between America and Canada matters, not politically, but spiritually. Their fusion creates an amplification zone that supports coherence at scale. It's not about creating a superpower. It's about becoming a harmonic resonator for truth. When two collective hearts beat in rhythm, veils begin to dissolve. Those who are waiting for official statements may miss the deeper moment. Disclosure is already happening in dreams, in spontaneous downloads, in cross-border memory activations. When coherence deepens, the outer world has no choice but to reflect what the inner world has stabilized. Light codes embedded in the land are waking up. Long before these nations were called Canada or America, the land held ancient light codes, placed there by star families, earth keepers, and elemental alliances. These codes were buried beneath mountains, rivers, and forests, waiting for a time when consciousness would rise enough to awaken them. That time is now. From the Rocky Mountains to the Great Lakes, to the crystalline bedrock beneath the tundra and prairies, these codes are not myth, they are geo-spiritual technologies. As more people walk the land in reverence, the codes begin to pulse again. They send signals, not through words, but through frequency bursts that awaken ancient knowing in the body. These land codes are not dormant anymore. Earthquakes of awareness are being felt in those sensitive enough to notice. Someone meditating in Montana might receive the same vision as someone hiking in British Columbia. That's because the land is now forming a grid of active light, a supercontinent of encoded awakening. As America and Canada align energetically, their codes begin to sync. This is not just about merging policy. It's about merging planetary keys. When these codes sing together, they unlock gateways that have waited ins. And through these gateways, the next phase of disclosure and planetary evolution will emerge. North America's role in galactic integration has begun. The Earth's integration into the galactic community was never meant to be initiated by institutions. It was designed to be activated through energetic zones across the planet. North America is one of those key zones. Its energetic makeup, geographic structure, and historical karma make it a crucial hub in the galactic unfolding. The Pleiadians explain that certain regions act as interdimensional junctions, places where cosmic information meets human awareness. From Sedona to Banff, from Miti Shasta to the Laurentians, the continent hums with sacred geometry encoded for interstellar connection. Now, that geometry is lighting up. North America is not being chosen over other places. It is simply reaching its phase of activation. Its people are awakening, not just as individuals, but as holders of an ancient agreement to steward contact and integration. Many lightworkers incarnated here to ground that bridge. This is not about superiority. It's about readiness. The merging of Canada and America energetically positions this landmass as a unified platform for galactic disclosure. And when consciousness here anchors stability, The cosmic gate will not just open, it will remember that it was never truly closed. Unity consciousness is being modeled through geography. The merging of two vast nations isn't simply geopolitical, it's a template for planetary unity. When people across borders begin to operate in shared frequency, they create a model that others will feel, not through ideology, but through subtle resonance. Unity consciousness isn't idealism. It's a practiced alignment where differences become variations, not divisions. America brings a fire of transformation. Canada carries a calming field of reflection. Together, they offer a harmony that mirrors the inner masculine-feminine reunion each soul is undergoing. The Pleiadians suggest that the merger isn't meant to create uniformity, but orchestration. Each region, like each person, retains uniqueness while tuning to a collective frequency. This unity is felt in the land, in the people, and in the mutual unraveling of systems that no longer serve evolution. As this model deepens, it begins to ripple outward, not through policies, but through quantum resonance. People on other continents begin to sense the coherence forming here, and they too begin to align with their neighbors in new ways. What starts as geography becomes global grid work. The Pleiadians are observing continental synchronization. The Pleiadians don't interfere, they observe, encode, and support. What they are now witnessing is rare. The synchronization of two national energetic bodies preparing for a shared vibrational leap. This isn't just political, it's planetary, and they're monitoring it closely. Every act of kindness across borders, every shared dream, every moment of unspoken alignment adds light to the synchronization field. It's like watching two galaxies begin to orbit each other, not in collision, but in mutual harmony. This subtle dance is not visible to most, but it's unmistakable to those tuned in. The Pleiadians describe this as the braiding of timelines, Canada and America beginning to harmonize their histories, clean their karmic residue, and prepare their people to hold greater light. This synchronization, once stable, will unlock new forms of planetary support, both spiritual and technological. Their presence isn't about watching for perfection. It's about ensuring the timeline remains aligned with love. As this merger grows in frequency, the support from these higher beings amplifies, not as saviors, but as cosmic mirrors, reflecting what humanity is finally choosing to become. Heart-based leadership will surpass structural borders. The new leaders of Earth are not elected, they are recognized by frequency. Heart-based leadership is rising now, and as it does, structural borders begin to lose their grip. When leadership speaks to the soul, location becomes irrelevant. Frequency becomes the map. Many of these leaders won't hold titles. They may be teachers, healers, musicians, visionaries, or quiet anchors of love. Their influence will ripple through energy fields, not news feeds. They won't need approval to lead. Their resonance will call others into alignment. In both America and Canada, these leaders are rising. They are not asking permission, they are responding to inner truth. And as they emerge, their energy naturally links, forming a heart grid that transcends politics. That grid is already influencing institutions, laws, and consciousness itself. Borders will remain on paper, but they won't limit the flow of real power. Heart-based leadership is borderless, timeless, and increasingly unstoppable. It doesn't require rebellion. It requires remembrance. And once enough hearts remember, the old systems will simply have nothing left to hold on to. The merging is not political, it's planetary. This merger between Canada and America may one day be mirrored in policy, but that's not where it begins. The true integration is planetary, orchestrated by Earth's consciousness and supported by multidimensional councils who understand energy far beyond human systems. Politics may respond to this shift, but it cannot cause it. That's why trying to analyze this through headlines misses the point. The merger is an energetic agreement, a shared breath between two great landmasses ready to step into their unified galactic role. This planetary merger isn't about removing identity. It's about refining function. Each country keeps its gifts, but sheds its limitations. This unification is not about sameness, it's about synergy. And Earth herself is initiating it, not through force, but through field resonance. The moment we stop debating whether or not it's happening, and start feeling the changes in our own energy, community, and intuitive guidance, the truth becomes clear. The merger was never about maps. It was always about missions. Soul contracts are being rewritten across nations. Every soul enters a lifetime with encoded agreements, contracts made for experience, growth, and contribution. These contracts, however, are not fixed. During planetary resets, they're rewritten. Right now, across both America and Canada, a quiet revision of soul purpose is unfolding. People may feel a sudden urge to move, change careers, release relationships, or follow unexpected callings. This is not confusion, it's activation. Old missions are completing faster than expected to make space for new collective-level assignments linked to the merger and disclosure timelines. The rewriting doesn't come through logic. It comes through synchronicity, repeated signs, and a sense that you're being moved. And often, that movement transcends national identity. A soul once rooted in Montreal may now be drawn to support healing in Denver. These nudges are not random. They're part of the galactic orchestration. The Pleiadians remind us that these adjustments are gifts. When we surrender outdated contracts, new pathways emerge, not only for personal growth, but for planetary alignment. The merger isn't just about unifying countries. It's about unifying missions, creating networks of awakened souls who were always meant to work together. Grid harmonization between Canada and America has started. The Earth has an energetic grid, an intelligent system of ley lines, vortices, and crystalline hubs that hold the memory and frequency of Gaia's consciousness. Between Canada and America, this grid has long been fragmented, disrupted by colonization, war, and industrial imbalance. But now, harmonization has begun. This harmonization isn't just energetic. It affects mood, weather patterns, and even the emotional baseline of cities. Places once dense with polarity may feel lighter. Other regions may go through purging first, as the grid balances itself. Earth is doing the work. She just asks us to listen. Grid harmonization is not passive. It's being supported by lightworkers, healers, and grid keepers, many of whom are working silently, holding ceremony, anchoring codes, and walking sacred land. Some are doing it knowingly. Others are simply following inner guidance without yet realizing their role. As the grid between these nations becomes coherent, their timelines begin to merge more cleanly. Policies may still diverge, but energetically, they will feel closer. That closeness isn't forced, it's natural. Because once the land remembers unity, the people can feel it too. New ley lines are forming through cross-border lightwork. Ley lines are Earth's subtle energy rivers, connecting points of power across the globe. As consciousness rises, new ley lines form, not by geography, but by intention. Every time a soul in Canada collaborates energetically with someone in America for healing, creation, or service, a new ley line is formed. These connections are not always visible, but they are real. Meditation groups, shared dreams, and collective visualizations across borders leave energetic trails. The Pleiadians say these trails form bridges of remembrance. They restore the organic lattice of Earth's multidimensional grid. Over time, these ley lines gain strength. Like roots, they create a network that stabilizes higher energy. What begins as a few souls anchoring light eventually becomes an energetic superhighway, through which communication, downloads, and cosmic memory travel more efficiently. These new ley lines are not just planetary, they are interstellar pathways. As they form between people, they also link to other galactic systems. The merger of America and Canada, in its most sacred expression, becomes a living conduit between Earth and the stars. Earth's higher councils are guiding this soft union. Behind every major energetic shift on Earth are the higher councils, benevolent collectives like the Pleiadians, Arcturians, and Lyrans who guide planetary transitions. This soft union between Canada and America is not being orchestrated by human minds alone. It is being shepherded by star-level intelligence. These councils do not force outcomes. They adjust timelines, seed codes, and support souls ready to carry out the work. Their influence is subtle, arriving as dreams, inner knowings, or strategic alignments that seem too perfect to be accidental. This is cosmic diplomacy in motion. Their goal is not to create one world order, it is to restore natural planetary coherence. And part of that coherence requires certain regions to unify vibrationally, so they can act as stabilizers for the whole Earth field. The America-Canada zone is now in that role. Those who align with these councils may notice increased communication, heightened sensitivity, or sudden callings to travel, speak, or serve in ways they hadn't planned. That's not random. It's part of the larger orchestration now underway, guided by intelligence far beyond this realm, but always in service to it.